people. That is what republic means. Y'all do know that, right? I hope so. Whew. Democracy comes from the Greek. Republic comes from the Latin. Interesting. Story for another day. Look, when it comes to what I am going to say, it's going to be a very short. I'm really just going to focus on what God really is. You know, what God really means. And I want you to listen to the words that are coming from my mouth. God. If you spell GA in the original way that we're supposed to pronounce the phonetic value of these symbols we call letters that are really sigils, GOD would be gold. Damn near like saying gold. It would be gold. Just like Jesus, right? G, uh, you could put GI, you put JI. Sa. Understand, isn't it very interesting that Jesus, when you break it down, is Jesus. It's almost like you're hissing. It's very interesting. You know, Yeshua. It's like a hiss. Man, very interesting. Issa. Another hiss. Very, very interesting. See, very old language. When you say sas, 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 it's like saying to whisper, you know, it's, sas, sas. It's to whisper. So they take words from different languages, they put them together, they slap it in front of our faces, and we fall for it. So I'm gonna let you know this. Um, G, the sound G, uh, do like do, um, do, do, G, um, Jiu, Jiu. Okay, so in a great deal of many languages, these would reflect a complexion of a person's skin, um, but really does not mean the complexion of a person's skin. Y'all get it? It's actually a phrase that people called themselves. So they have taken do, they've changed do to many other sounds. They even took do and changed it to D. And it's, they've taken um G and changed it to D as well. So okay, they gonna play with me. They're gonna play with me today. They're gonna play with me today, right? I guess I gotta park in the garage closer to the Wi-Fi for it to work at the house. Y'all gonna play games? So notice that this is not about Jesus, because that's gonna be an explosive breakdown, explosive breakdowns of what the name of the languages really are, where the languages come from. I'm gonna break down all the ICs. I'm gonna break down all the ISHs. I'm gonna break them all down. Show and prove that these are languages that were created in the 19th century. Yeah, and they use words that predate the actual language, but when they started making their dictionaries, it was the end of the 19th century and the early 20th century. I guess I have to say this all the time. Fellows of the Royal Society, right? You have the Royal Society, uh-huh, at the top. The bottom corner of the Royal Society operates through the Royal Company. They're called the Jesuits. Then you go back to the Royal Company in the middle. And you go down on the left side, y'all. This is called the real pyramid. This is the real one. You have the Templars. Again, look into it, y'all. This is not a game. Dr. Fauci, he's on the side of the Jesuits, right? Bill Gates, he was knighted as a Templar, huh? On the top, who's on the top? Oh, the Royal Society. Well, guess who's one of the richest in the Royal Society? Elon Musk. Okay, if y'all thought this was a game, y'all are very confused. If y'all thought they don't control everything that we have going on today, the way we identify numbers and letters, you're very confused. You do not understand that your reality, the way that you think, even when you dream, and the things that how you identify and reciprocate, not reciprocate ideals and knowledge that this is being tainted with biochemistry from the foods, the water, the air, a great deal of other things psychologically. It's all a big massive effect that we're having, right? Okay. So they run the show. They're in control, and they have not been in control for very long, and they are not trying to give up control at all. So, ooh, top fans. I keep seeing this when I go live. Top fans. I keep seeing it. Okay. That's what's up. So, this is gonna be another 10 to 15. You already know I gotta spit my my JIB, my jib. Telling y'all these words, man. There's oh man. When you devote years, some people might devote days and weeks, but when you devote years to study and knowledge, like I don't talk about hieroglyphs with anyone that doesn't have at least a decade behind them of studying it symbol for symbol, letter for so-called letter that they try and attach to these images. Like I can't even communicate with you about that, so I don't talk to anyone about it. Because I just know that you have not devoted enough time and energy and let alone finances. If you thought that you buying some EA Wallace Budge and a couple of little PDFs or some little books or whatever on how to read hieroglyphs is going to get you there, you don't get it. So when it comes to a lot of information and knowledge, unfortunately, is controlled by the real pyramid. You know what we'll say? There's a big pyramid, and then you have the cap. Like the dollar bill, you have that pyramid, you have the Roman numerals at the bottom, and then you have the eye, and it's separated from the rest of the pyramid. Well, that eye, the bottom left corner, it is the Templars. The bottom right corner, it is the Jesuits. The top is the fellow of the Royal Societies. And I'm telling y'all, just go look into it. Go study the Templar stuff. Go study the Jesuit stuff. Go study the Royal Society stuff. Find out the years when they are all three are in existence. You do the math. So, before I get into God in about 30 minutes, well, sorry, not 30 minutes, 30 seconds. Uh, you know, when it comes to these lettering and these words that, they like D. So, when you see someone say in D D-E-E, D-E-D-I. When you say D, that means black. Okay? Do means black. Okay? D. So when I see that they have D and do referring to black, that I know that they originally took it from the J. That is G. So when I see words like N-D-N, it's just N-D. They added the N. They added the A-N at the end. But ND, N, most people don't even know what it really means. Most of you don't. ND D means black. So that you can't be an Indian and be my complexion or a shades lighter than me talking about you an Indian. Indian is literally saying that person is black. Now I know the flags are on the field, so we'll say this. A person is rich in keratin because melanin is pseudoscience. You want talking about melanin, they're teaching you pseudoscience. All things attached to melanin is pseudo. What we're talking about is keratin, okay? And if you want to go even further into the skin and all that stuff, we can do that too. You know what I'm saying? But I need to be paid for that because I'm gonna give you stuff your professor is not even allowed to teach you. So when you see ND, it's NG, okay? NG on. When you hear words like Hoosier, okay? Hoosier, no, and they put a SI, okay? That's really JI, but they have changed the J to an S. When you see that XI and they say she, no, they was she, okay? Meji, Mexico. And they got you saying Mexico, but it's really Meji. When you hear Magi, when it with the J and then it's going Y with the J, the I, okay? So they playing y'all, okay? I'm here to help. I'm here to help. That's what I'm here for. I'm not trying to make no money on the sharing this information, but I need the future to break free. Just these generations right now, I don't know if they're gonna get it. And if somehow some major apocalyptic event happens or so on and so forth, and this thing survives, I want to make sure that at least they're getting the right information. Because I know y'all don't got it. Trust me, I know y'all don't got it. If y'all had it, there's a lot of stuff you wouldn't say because in order for you to get to this point to know the things that I know, you had to go through a lot. I'm talking about 28 levels of languages before you can even get to the 67 alphabets. Y'all struggling with 3. You know what I'm saying? Y'all struggling bad too, real bad. But that's what happens when you devote decades to this stuff. You know, most people don't have time. Y'all want to party and play. Y'all ain't got time. While y'all were partying playing through y'all 20s, I was on this heavy. Okay? Heavy. Y'all way behind. I'm talking about I'm 44 now. Y'all a couple decades behind. And y'all struggling just to meet like the first like 3 years of me getting heavy into this stuff. Y'all struggling with that. Y'all can't get it. You won't get it. You wasn't born with it. And you won't admit it. So stop blocking people from real information and knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Stop blocking them from it just so you can keep your petty social diatribe of what's going on, which is very, very irrelevant to the totality of our existence and what we need to do. Okay. So it's not that hard. You can go look it up in the Bible. I'm not giving too much details to this because I want the challenges on this. Okay. I'm challenging everybody on what the spirit is, what the soul is, and what God is. Okay? I want that smoke. I'm telling you this right now that there's only one chapter, one thing in the Bible that ever expressed what God really is. In the expression of what God really is, it's the time when God was seen. And the person says they saw God and they stood still. Go find that in the Bible because I'm telling you, that's what God really means. God. That's what it really means. It means to be still, to stand still and be at the point of death. Because when you die, you'll see God. And that's all it means. That's right.